Hi, I'm Jenny, and I don't know how to start this video, so I'm just gonna dive right in. And let me preface this by saying that whatever it is that I say on this video, I say not as a psychometrician, not even as a psych graduate, just as someone with some background on observing and detecting patterns of behavior. Okay, so let me say this. So let's just get this out of the way right now. Whatever it is that you've gone through or are going through in life, that experience is uniquely yours. I do not have the right to say that I understand you or I get you because I will never be able to fully understand you. No one will ever be able to fully understand you. However, people can still help you on your journey, and I'm making this video because this is something that this is something that I talk to my friends and my family a lot about, because I feel like this is something that's conveniently glossed over when we talk about mental health. We always talk about mental health as something that's reduced to anxiety and depression, and those are all pretty bad, terrible things to go through. However, anger and depression could also manifest into this emotion, which is anger. We're gonna talk about anger today. um, I feel like people tend to be angrier these days because we're navigating super uncharted territories, and it's valid. I understand why people feel that way. I was angry for the first 2-3 months of the quarantine, and my anger, if you know me, stemmed from very valid concerns, and you probably should be angry about them too, but I digress. This is not about that. This video is not about that. I'm super sorry about the shaky video. Anyway, uh, I just wanna get this out right now because people message me these days, and it's always about this. It's always about anger. It's always about not being able to control their emotions, and I think the reason for that is because we're taught to think, because we were raised to think that anger isn't something that we should feel. We should always just be happy or whatever. But anger is an emotion just like anything else, and the problem the problem only rises if you express anger in an unhealthy manner, in a threatening manner. What we need to learn is to express our anger in very in productive or in healthy ways that would not hurt ourselves or would not hurt the people around us. Okay, so I'm gonna say this right now. Whatever it is that you've gone through or are going through, if your anger stems from childhood issues or a full on anger management issue or something that happened prior to COVID, or if you think that your anger has nothing to do with the quarantine at all, let me just say that unfortunately, I really am truly sorry that you have gone through whatever event it is, or you've met certain people who hurt you or who turned you to be the angry person that you are today. I really am truly sorry. Nobody should have to learn through trauma. Nobody should have to go through trauma and be told that at least it made you strong. I don't believe that. I don't think people should go through that. But however, whatever it is that you've gone through in life should not be able to should not define you and should not end your journey. And so I'm saying this right now, the onus is on you to try and take the first step towards healing. So the responsibility falls on you to try and seek help and or do proactively seek ways to try and curb this unhealthy expressions of anger, because you are a person capable of moving forward and you are a person deserving of healing. And also secondary to that, the people around you do not deserve the anger that that you're displacing. So whatever it is that you're going through, I hope you know that you are not alone. Go people go through these things. People go through the motions of life just as you do, and if you feel like it's too heavy, there are people who would readily help you. So let's start with the non-clinical stuff first. How do you express your anger in an acceptable manner? So if you tend to speak or shout or scream when you're angry, I suggest you count first to maybe to 60. Let's make it a full minute. So count to 60 before you react, before you say something. So in that case, you could, at least give yourself some time to think, or you could at least compose yourself first, so that not the first thing that comes into your mind isn't what you spew out. So it's not just like you're snapping at people left and right. And another thing that you could do, you could scream in the shower or sing in the shower if you want, if you could do it. If you could do it, if you have the, at least some positive energy in you to sing in the shower, just try to divert the energy. Then you could do that. Scream into a pillow. Also, a gestal technique that's used is, sitting in front of an empty chair and just letting all your anger out in front of the empty chair. At least that way you're not hurting someone else. Another thing that you could do is talk to a friend about it. A friend whose wisdom you trust, a friend whose disposition you admire. Not a friend who would tell you things that are, just would make you, just tell you things that you want to hear. A friend who would tell you things that you need to hear. Another thing that you can do about it is to write out your anger. Because when you write things out, you tend to make better sense of it. Because it's something that you see it as something that's separate from you. So those are ways that you could explore. Try and see if it could just control your expressions, just even for a bit. And once that you form a habit, when you do these things, it might help. Just try to see if it could help you. However, if your tendency leans towards aggression, physical aggression, I suggest that you actively try and consciously try to divert the energy into something that's non-threatening, like working out, learning boxing, or invest in a punching bag, and just learn shadow boxing, and or hit the bed with a pillow, throw pebbles in the ocean. I saw an article that say you should throw pebbles in the ocean. If you can't do that because of our situation, like throw pebbles in your garage, maybe. Just make sure that it's not gonna cause an accident later on. Or get a stress ball. Just try it. And also, I would just like to remind you that physical abuse, it isn't limited to hurting someone. Physical abuse includes destroying things, punching the wall, punching things, throwing things around. That's also considered physical abuse. So you don't want to be the person that does that just because you cannot control your anger. So I'm saying this whole video is for people who are already capable of acknowledging that there is something wrong with them and that they need to do something to correct their behavior, and are willing to listen and are willing to take the first step towards healing. So if any of these things work, and then that's good. That's consider that a win. But however, if you feel like it's still not doing you any good, or it's still not doing anything, you're just being able to express it, but it's still with you, it's still heavy. There are people trained to talk to you about these things. That's why we have psychologists and counselors. I know that they're not easily accessible. I know that they're not very affordable, but if you can invest in these things, if you can take that step, then the rest of your life will just be, lighter, because at least you invested, because you gave yourself a chance to heal, because you gave yourself a chance to, like, not be this person. You are not limiting yourself to the person that's just full of hatred, who courses through life with nothing but anger and all that. However, I fully understand that the fees may not be democratic, or they're just not accessible. I would like you to take this opportunity to take advantage. I'm sorry, that might not be the right term. I'm sorry to my colleagues, but take advantage of institutions and groups that are offering their services for free right now during this pandemic. There are a lot of mental health support groups offering free psychosocial services right now. And I'd like you to take advantage of that because, again, unfortunately, what happened to you, that's not your fault. But what you do about your trauma, how you pass it on to other people, that's kind of your that is your responsibility. And you don't want to be the person that pass around, that also that does to other people what has been done to you. And there's really no reason. The people around you, they don't deserve that. As much as you didn't deserve that, so do this do this for the first reason. You deserve to heal. You are a person capable of moving forward. And second, if you hurt people before, or if you are hurting them now, you already have something to apologize about, and you already have to take responsibility, and you have to take accountability for your past actions, and also you have to keep yourself accountable in the future. I know that this isn't this all of this, it's easier said than done, and healing isn't always linear. You probably have tried to take the first step before and it didn't work, but that doesn't mean that you should stop, and that doesn't also mean that there is no hope for you. Healing isn't linear. It's not gonna be easy, but it might also not be as hard as you imagine it to be. So I would like you to just take a step back and evaluate how you're treating people, how you're treating yourself, and how that translates to how you navigate life. And I want you to remember that you are capable and you are deserving of healing, and I wish you the very best.